You see, real self illuminates intellect, like the sun illuminates the moon. So, when the moon is illuminated or the intellect is illuminated, the knowledge of the real self is just an experience of real self. So understand that. I think, in couple of practices, I focused on awareness, knowledge, experience. They all are same thing. So when I know my real self, I experience it. Knowledge is experience. Go back. Real self illuminates intellect. And the intellect knows the real self. That very knowing is experience. If we have a knowledge of the real self, there is no choice, we are already awakened. If we do not have the knowledge of the real self in the intellect, not in the words, no choice, we are not there. So, in both the cases, there is no choice. If I know the real self, there is already an all pervading experience of the real self. And if the knowledge is not there, then what is most important? Most important is the knowledge of the real self that should happen in the intellect. That should happen in the intellect. Knowledge. Ah, yes. Now look at the entire Eastern wisdom. I have been saying you study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. Is the intellect supporting that? No, the intellect, sometime yes, sometime no. So why no? Because the intellect is hypnotized by the external world. So it says, I only have an information. I do not know it. So lucky are people who study and dedicate themselves to study is a great opportunity. To study and understand and absorb in the intellect is still greater. And to know the Eastern wisdom that it is living in our life is the greatest opportunity. Now, I wake up in the morning, I know that I have to complete 10 different tasks, but behind I know the real self. It is all a play and a fun. You always, the mind lives in the equanimity, in peace and happiness. So, why we study Eastern wisdom? To study ourself, to reveal that real self, to bring an end to the suffering. Why there is a suffering? That is why we say suffering is because of ignorance. And ignorance, you know that it is known as avidya. So this ignorance means not knowing my real self, which is self existent, which is self luminous, which is all pervading, which is infinity, truth, and ananda. But why I don't know? Because of ignorance. So, what is this ignorance or avidya? It is an unholy marriage between what I am not with what I am. Unholy marriage that you just explained. That you said, oh, real self does nothing, yes, but I'm inclined to do. I always like to do. So that like to do in one hand and a presence of the real self, they have an unholy marriage. Then what happens? My false I says, I am the doer. This is the real self. See that? We are going into the Shravanam. When I come to you, we always find out the return ticket, best and the cheapest. Obviously, it should be the best and cheapest. That is what we are doing in our life. By engaging ourselves into action, becoming a doer and the enjoyer, suffering pain and the pleasure, we are buying instant and cheapest return ticket, and that is what is known as the cycle of birth and death. Every day, how many times I became the doer and the enjoyer? I accumulate impressions. So I am already ready to buy a return ticket, again to suffer. We think we are buying the best ticket, but no, the moment we are the doer, we are the enjoyer, we experience pain, we have some likes and dislikes, we have already bought a return ticket. We are buying this return ticket, or what we say sansara. Buddha says sansara. We say law of karma, cycle of birth and the death. So we buy this ticket by the thought, speech, and action. Absence of real self. Claiming ego is our real self. No end of suffering. Cycle simply means buying a return ticket. It's a cycle. It completes the cycle. Entering into the life, returning. Huh? The way we entered into the birth, we want to return again to the same birth. That is the problem. Eastern wisdom awakens to the knowledge of that reality. That is why we sit when we sit close by to the teacher, close by means mentally, commitment and sincerity that destroys the sorrow first and awakens us to the real self. Go a little deeper, step by step. When we say we are a seeker, it is our mind and the intellect who is a seeker. Body cannot be, body is a matter, breath is a matter. So you see that it is our mind and the intellect acts as a seeker. So this mind and intellect has to be clear, pure, focused, attentive. Then where is the knowledge? Knowledge of Eastern wisdom is in the books given to us by the teacher. What we are searching real self. That is our goal. Now see that I want to know physics means I am ignorant of physics. So if I get a knowledge of the physics, my ignorance will go away. So the real self, knowledge of the real self. I do not know the real self. So if I know the real self, I have the knowledge. First point. Second point, where is the location of that knowledge? Where the ignorance is. So where the ignorance is, it is in the mind or intellect. So I have to put the knowledge in the same intellect. I cannot I cannot start jogging to know my real self. Action cannot help. So action means I am a doer and the enjoyer. The doer and enjoyer is the ego. So as long as I am doing something, I am a doer and the enjoyer. I continue to superimpose false I over the real I. No way. No, no, but our Eastern wisdom says no, there is a Kundalini meditation, there is a Hatha yoga, there is a Tantra yoga, there is a mantra. Yes, in the early stages, to purify the mind, to gain the focus of the mind, we need to do that. So once we have reached to a stage, we have become a seeker, only the knowledge will remove ignorance. Because we have understood it clearly, the false I will superimpose the real self by doing anything. By doing anything. See that? So there is a clarity. Clarity means what? Now the false I returns that I am the doer, and the knowledge says, player, I am a player, not a doer in the job. So the once we understand that the only knowledge will remove ignorance, it means my mind or the intellect should remain aware, attentive, focused, pure. With that understanding, with that awareness, our masters say that the ultimate goal of every human being, every living being, from amoeba to elephant, is end of suffering. You touch an ant, and the ant changes the direction. End of suffering. Fear. So we also want a complete security, complete end of suffering, and we want to be near to permanent happiness. Just take an example again. I say I have a pain in my head. It is not knowledge. I am happy. It is knowledge. It is a knowledge. It is a thought. First, it is a thought, and thought conveys me a knowledge. Thought contains the knowledge. So when we are listening, Shravanam, that is what Master says. Are you really listening? You know, you have a thought that you say, I have a pain in my right arm. This is a knowledge. Knowledge is your experience. You see that knowledge is your experience. See that. So, what we are seeking, end of suffering. There is no suffering. There is no limitation now. Why there is no limitation? Because the real self is all pervading. It is pure consciousness. One statement. And second is I have a pain. Both are statements. Both gives you the knowledge. Knowledge is experience. So I have a pain, immediate cause. I say that, when I experience the pain, I know it. But when you say where is the real self is all pervading, it does not strike. Yes, it does not strike because we are going to understand why it does not strike, why the knowledge does not become an experience because there is a problem in the intellect. What is that problem? To normally we say it is a defect in the intellect. So, what is defect in the intellect? First defect, it is doubt. Our intellect has been habituated to accept pain, suffering, fear, insecurity instantly. And the same intellect says that it is hard to believe that there is a permanent happiness. So there is a doubt in the intellect. So it means if I remove that doubt completely, then the listening leads to knowledge. I have a pain. Yes, I experience. You are real self. No, I understood it, but it is not happening. Defect in the intellect. So our masters say there is no problem. The real self is there. Knowledge is right. Only problem with the intellect. There is no problem with the real self. There is no problem with the knowledge. Physics is physics, whether I understand or I do not understand. If I do not understand Einstein's theory of relativity, then I cannot say with the belief that matter can be converted into energy or energy can be converted into matter. Now see what the masters are saying. Master says real self is self-existent. Means what? That real self does not depend on anything for its existence. Water to the waves, whether wave is there or not, whether the waves are there or not, the water remains present, self-existent. It does not need anything to depend on. Because if it needs something to depend on, it will no longer be real self. Second part, it is self-luminous. Self-luminous means it is the pure consciousness that gives light to everything and also to itself. Third is it is all pervading. Fourth is it is self-evident. Evident means evidence. It does not need any sense organ, mind, thought to prove that it is there or not. It is beyond the three states of the mind: dream, sleep, and waking. It is beyond the five koshas. So this is what we say. Now we have started Shravanam, really. Okay, okay. Now discuss, understand about the doubt. I know I am, but I do not know what I am. So there is a doubt. I know I am. 100% I know. But so that doubt must be removed by listening. Then world is there. The world is there for me for utility, using that word, or the word is there for something else. I have a doubt. I use the word as a utility, but I always fail. The same word gives me the pain. Same word gives me the pleasure. So I have to be very clear, free from the doubt. I live, think, speak, act in the world. So I should know with clarity what is this word at all. Then I should also know what is the supreme consciousness. Our normal experience says I am, means I am conscious. That's why I know I am. So if the supreme consciousness or God is different from me, it means that supreme consciousness cannot be conscious. It simply is a matter. So it means that supreme consciousness is located within me. So you see that? The way I said, do you have a pain? Yes. That knowledge is your experience? Yes. Do you know this fact? Yes. Is this your experience? By listening continuously, the intellect says, aha, I got it. So why it is not happening? Because there is a defect in the intellect. Defect in the intellect, first thing, is the doubt regarding I am, what I am, huh? World, and how I take this world. That is the first level of the defect. Then comes other defect. We have not done preparatory steps. What are the sadhan chatushtaya, viveka, vairagya, six treasures, and intense desire for freedom. Shravanam, intellect, doubt, and ultimately, we also covered ignorance, not knowing who am I. Now we will come to that our mind lives at the superficial level. When I say I see you, you see me. My mind says there are two people. How can you prove that there are two? How can you say that? No, there you are, here I am. So, what do you see as a knowledge? Body, body. So, you see the body, I see your body. So, I see the immediate cause and I conclude the knowledge. Go inside the body. Body is made up of five elements. Whether it's your body or my body, matter, Five elements. Go to the cause of five elements. Only one element, that is Akasha, the space. All four elements are created by Akasha, the ether, the space. Go back. Who created the space? The real self. So where are the two? Where is the two? So it is my false I says, here, there you are, here I am. Understand that knowledge. So there is a seven layers of cause and effect. We only look at the immediate cause. Looking at the immediate cause is an effect. The effect continues to change. So I see you are there, I am here. I see it is a cause, but it is an effect of the matter. Body is an effect of matter. You are given birth. I was given birth. So can I see the first layer of that sorrow and the suffering is this body. I will go back again once you are clear about it and you start living into that seven layers of ignorance. Here is this one level, here is the second, here is the third. Oh my goodness. So the knowledge takes place in the mind. Summary of the seven layers. First is I am the body. What is the cause of the body? My sanskaras. That is known as dharma and dharma. And then I will go deeper. So, what is the cause of these sanskaras? Karma, my karma. The way I do the prescribed karma, nitya and then amitya karma. Sometime I, the Eastern wisdom says, you don't do this karma, but I like that karma, so I do it because I like it because it gives me pleasure. So, first is the body, then we will understand. Second is the sanskaras. Now, cause of those sanskaras is karma. Go to the fourth one. What is the cause of karma? Raga and dvesha, attachment and detachment. What is the cause of raga and dvesha? Likes and dislikes. Cause of karma, cause of raga and dvesha is likes and dislikes. What is the cause of likes and dislikes? Because I do not think. There comes the right knowledge. Because I do not want to think, I am not thinking. So when I'm not thinking, then what happens? What is the cause of non thinking? Cause of non thinking, you are there, I am here, we both are separate from each other, we are two. Fact is, we are one. We'll go deeper and deeper, but understand that, repeat that. Body. First is the body. Second is what we say dharma, or we say sanskaras. Cause of the sanskara is karma. Cause of the karma is raga and dvesha. Cause of raga and dvesha is likes and dislikes. Cause of likes and dislikes is non-thinking. Cause of non-thinking that I see this world is different and separate from me. because it is separate from me. So I again go back to the body, do this, do that, become the doer and the enjoyer. So we confirm the return ticket. Pick up anyone, pick up likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes is nothing but the mind superimposes on an object or a person. It is only a superimposition. There is no likes and dislikes. It's a superimposition means it's a false perception by the mind for seeking pleasure, for avoiding pain. Why people like red color? There is no reason. The reason is superimposition. Why you like blue color? Superimposition. Understand that clearly. It's all knowledge. Shravanam should clear the doubt. It gives us the right knowledge. So you see that like and dislike is only because of superimposition. No, I don't like Sachin. I don't want to talk to him. Superimposition. So it is not who is good or bad, but I am already confirming the return ticket. Do you see that? See it clearly. So when I live in awareness, how I realize. Take an example of the seventh factor, the duality. You can move either from the seventh factor as the first one and then go to the seventh one as a body. One of the great masters who lived in my native state of Bihar, who created this seven layers of, he says, no, understand this clearly. It is one of the, I would say, not many people know that book. Seven, now see the duality. The moment my mind says you are different from me, only one thought, the mind creates 1 trillion thoughts where I am and where I am not. I am different from the solar system. I am different from my wife. I am different from uh, my kids. I am different from you because I have beard and you don't have it. See the duality. See, the mind now is already in the state of delusion. My right hand is different from the left hand. My right eye is different. And you see the duality. We don't think about it. Non thinker. Non thinking gives me what is the ultimate cause is the duality. The world is divided. Divided world is delusion. Divide to perceive the world is divided is delusion. Otherwise, this world is world. It's a fact. I have a body, you have a body, it is a fact. But internally, when I see we are different, you are there and I am here, that causes the problem. Why? Think of it. Just thinking, like a physics, moving into metaphysics. Think. The moment I see there is a duality, that is why you become the doer and the enjoyer. Otherwise, there is no reason to be doer and enjoyer. Doer and experiencer, only that idea of being a doer and the experiences and enters into your mind only because you see the world is different from you. I have to achieve something. I have to escape from something. See that? The idea of duality. Idea of duality. See, remember again body, sanskaras, karma, rag, dvesh, likes, dislikes, non thinking, duality. Because of non thinking, I see the world is different from me. So now see that. Now jump to the what we say, uh, karma. So when I see the world is different, separate from me, and I doing something give me happiness. So I will do what I like, even if it is wrong. So what is wrong? It creates an impression, it creates a conflict in my mind. This is what the karma we do every day. So now I am totally engaged in karma. And that continues to create raga and dvesha based on likes and dislikes. I do not think about it. So, why I do not think? That is why I have likes and dislikes, because there is a superimposition. Who created this superimposition? Now, see, pick up any of the factors, you will find out the answer. That is how we live day to day. See that? What is that? Duality. So, who has the knowledge of the duality and the division that I have a body and I have a mind? I have already divided myself. I live in this house, I have already divided. I have a right and the left hand, I have already divided. I have a right eye and the left eye, I have already divided. As a fact, outside, right hand, right eye, left eye should, yes, we have to use this word. But because of this duality, I see myself as a false eye. The false eye becomes the real eye. Why? Just ask yourself why. Go on asking the question, why? Why I see that? Because I find I am limited with my right and the left hand. Limitedness leads me to insecurity. Insecurity causes fears, hatred, anxiety, and host of other problems. It will happen. It is happening to you, but you have to just go to these seven layers. Duality. So, duality is caused by the likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes is there because I am not thinking. Question is why I am not thinking. Ask yourself why I am not thinking. We have millions and trillions of sanskaras that we have already created. It is accumulated in the mind. We find the false ego that I-ness takes over me. I am smarter than you. That idea takes over. Superimposition, that idea takes over. You can see that the moment you are talking to your honey and to your, oh, you are my daughter. Okay, I will do it. I will do it. I don't see it as oneness. Do you see that? It is happening 24 by 7. Why we are talking of seven layers? We are talking of 7 layers because I have to realize and experience that real self 24 by 7. When I say it is self existent, it has to be present all the time. So I have to take my sadhana 24 by 7. Then only I can realize. Otherwise, there is no fun. Otherwise, people have a very wrong opinion that I will do the practice 1 hour. I went into the heaven, and once I return from meditation, I am already into hell. So that is why we should know this knowledge. So likes and dislikes. Now take up the likes and dislikes. We'll go deeper. You have to reflect every time, every time. Oh, mind, you have this thought. Which category of the 7 layers of cause and effect you belong to? So what happens? The doubt will be removed. The delusion will go away and it will be replaced by knowledge. There and then, not after 1 year of practice. You have done already a lot of practice. So practice should be, yes, practice should continue. I would say 10% of practice you are doing practice every day in order to strengthen the sadhan chatushtaya. Now look at the raga and dvesha. Did we discuss about binding desires? Raga and dvesha, binding desire. Whether it is dvesha, binding desire. Whether it is raga, it is still a binding desire. I like something, but it should not be done. And still I do it. There are a lot of things. I need not to talk. I don't like a particular thing and still I do it. I like something, I don't want to do it. Or in a different way, what is right, I don't want to do it. What is bad, I want to do it because I like it. There are 1 million thoughts that passes every day in this category. And because of this, we create lot of impressions. And these impressions prompts me to do the karma. Go to the karma, nitya and the naimitya karma, kamya karma. So I engage myself into the kamya karma. I become the doer, I become the experiencer. It is only because of this. I'm answering your question that you raised in the very beginning. That still I want to do. I'm the doer. I enjoy being a doer. I enjoy being an achiever. Now see the we have to start thinking that the way the masters are thinking. Did I tell you how many people are unemployed? They are suffering. They don't have money. So we have to ask the question that how many employed people are really happy? You see the understanding logic is this. So if I'm rich, then I'm happy. Is Bill Gates happy? We know it. See that. Look at it. Look at it from every angle. So people who have bread, shelter, and clothes are happy. How many people who have it, they are happy? Karma. Karma. So there is some underlying cause behind our suffering. It is not the money. It is not the clothes. It is not the food. It is not being single. It is not being married. It is not being having 5 kids. It is not being having no kids. What it shows? What is the conclusion? My mind should stay focused that no outer object, event, condition is responsible for my sorrow and suffering. I should live into that awareness, that knowledge all the time, that nothing outside is responsible for my sorrow and suffering. Then mind jumps on likes and dislikes. Shake your head. Am I a non thinker? Let me see why I like it, why I dislike it. And you will see that your intellect will say, oh, there is no reason at all. It is all a delusion, it is a superimposition. Karma, body. So you see, first is body, second is sanskaras. So those sanskaras are already accumulated. That is why I'm exhausting those sanskaras in the present life. Forget about even the birth of cycle of birth and death, previous birth. What I did yesterday, the state of the mind with the thoughts is reaping the fruit in today. So yesterday was my previous birth and today is my current birth. So who is ruling today? What I did yesterday. What I did yesterday. So this is what we say, the cycle of the dharma, and the dharma continues. Why? Because this sanskaras, the body is the result of these sanskaras and the impressions. See that? Seven layers, seven cycle of ignorance and suffering. Take another example. I have a pain in the head, for example. What is the immediate cause? Maybe I did overexertion. Maybe some I still have constipation. Huh? Maybe I drove my car for 500 miles. That's why my head feels totally headache. Immediate cause. Immediate cause. What is the secondary cause? Think of it. And it is so simple. This body is constantly changing. You cannot make this body 100% permanent healthy. Why? It is constantly changing. So, very change in the body is the cause of the problem, not the immediate cause. Immediate cause is not the problem. We try to solve the immediate cause. So every time we have a headache, we take pills. And that makes our habit. Habit creates sanskaras. Sanskaras gives me raga and dvesha. Raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. Because I am a non-thinker and I blame and complain and react in the world without knowing the right cause. Pick up anything that gives you pain. Pick up anything that gives you the pleasure. Who gets the pleasure? Body. Body gets the pleasure, and body is constantly changing. So today I have a pleasure, tomorrow not. Today I have a pleasure with the pasta, tomorrow I fed up with the pasta. So where lies the problem? First problem lies in the body. And second is raga and dvesha. Second is raga and dvesha. Third is, you can say, likes and dislikes. What is likes and dislikes? Because I do not think. Because I do not think rightly. So when I do not think, then I become the body. So it is not the body is the problem, but I am the body is the problem. Body as such, everyone's body of an amoeba, they are also looking for ending this suffering and looking for peace. Elephant also, all the living beings. So, because I am the body is the problem. Identification with the body is the problem. So, now who is responsible for that identification? All the six factors. All the six factors. Go to the ultimate cause. I see my body and your body within eye of a delusion. So, with that knowing what happens, I ease the burden on the body. When I ease the burden on the body, then I now see, oh, these karmas needs to be exhausted, whatever the karma is there. Huh? Let me see, let me become aware and choose what is right and good. Shreyas. So all the principles needs to be applied at every moment in my life. Shreyas and prayas. No raga and raga. You destroyed the raga and dvesha when you choose shreyas and prayas. When you choose only shreyas instead of prayas, no raga dvesha, no likes and dislikes, no duality, you experience. The intellect says, "Oh, there is something different. Now I see I'm a different guy." So now you have already crushed false eye. So, with eyes open, you experience that limitless consciousness.